What's up, Chatty Patty Gang Squad? What's up, guys? This is your girl Chat with Kay, and I'm back because I have something to say. Don't always. Welcome back to another episode of Pt2 Tuesday, and as you already know, this is part 2 of my domestic violence story and how I escaped and how my accuser passed away and all those different things. So, but before we go on with this story, if this is your first time tuning into my channel, there's some things that I ask that you do, and that is watch the video, like the video, comment on the video, and please share this video because this is part 2, and I'm hoping that my story can help the next person. And then turn on your notification bell so you can be notified each and every time I upload another video. And then continue coming back watching your girl, because you never know when you never know what you're going to see or hear on my channel. Let's just be clear that, because it's not set on any just one content. Everybody know that since I started my channel. Everybody know that it's just my life. All right, so let me see. I believe I had to go back and listen to the ending of the first video so I can pick up to where I left off, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, I left off where I was speaking about him taking me out to eat for the very first time. And then, telling me about all of his other health issues. Now, if anybody know me, and I know a lot of you don't know me physically, but I'm a type of person that I'm just a loving person towards the next person. I always want to see somebody be okay, even if it puts myself in a bad situation. I've done that before. I took the bullet trying to help someone else or making sure someone else was okay. And I had to really, over the years, stop doing that, okay? Because the only person I was hurting myself more when I was doing that. But that's no here nor there to this story. I'm just trying to give you a little feel of how I am when it comes to loving another person. So when he started telling me about all of his health issues, I started to feel sorry for the guy. I really, truly did, okay? But I put myself in a situation that I didn't need to be in, trying to help someone else. Prime example, because like I said, I did this before, but here is why I did it again. Okay, so I think after we had our first dinner date, like I said, it was okay. It was him getting to know me getting to know him. And like I said, they will wine and dine you to make you feel like you just like, okay. I was like, I just got out of this whole 9 years or more cheating relationship that I was in, a whole waste of my time. And I'll tell you about that story another day. And then I see him, he just like, okay. It was easier to be attracted to him because he was always want to provide in the aspect of, at least I thought that's what it was. Let's be clear that. And I also want to say something to you guys. I know in my video, it looked like my lash was coming off on the last one. And I don't know why it looks like that on the camera, but it doesn't look like that in person. So my lashes are not falling off. They actually are there. They're actually there, secured really well. So I'm sorry if it may look crazy, but it doesn't look crazy in person. But I just wanted to say that. Okay, so I think I left, and after that was over, I think we end up hanging out because, I had to call Diane to say, hey, I'm trying to do this story, but I'm trying to put all the pieces together because it was so much that was happening. And then she's like, girl, don't forget to tell him this. Don't forget to tell him that. So I wish she was here with me to tell this story. Because like I said, she played a big part of my survival of this story. So I think after I had my dinner date with him, I went to Diane and I was like, okay, hey, well, he fed me, da-da-da-da. I mean, we was telling her. And Diane's the same way. Her heart is the same way. She loves heart too. So I think that's a better way to say this is that I love hard and she does too. And I think that's why we was able to click as many years as we did, because we love hard. We really truly do. And then I could remember, and I'm just giving different incidents where things went south with this guy. And he even wined and dined Diane, because he knew that she was my best friend at the time. So when he took me out to eat, she came, he paid for her, she paid for me. So everything was just going okay in the beginning. Okay. And then we starting to see more of the controlling. And then I'm going to add another adjective to it: aggressiveness. Okay. He started to be real aggressive, and with his tone. Let's just say that it started next with his tone, and it was, do what I tell you to do, or you're not doing that, controlling and with an aggressive tone. So it's just like, okay. And he did start to freak me out. But at the same time, I was like, okay, he just want me around him. I kept thinking that he just wanted me to be up under him. And he did to some extent. And it wasn't a trust issue at first, I thought, because I never did anything. So the times that he did let me stay at home, he was always calling, like every 5 minutes, you okay, you good, you okay, you're good. And I'm thinking he's just being a caring boyfriend at this time, with a little aggressiveness with it. And I'm like, okay, he won't let me study because he keep calling me so much. But I took it as if, oh, he's concerned about his girl. Wrong. He was just trying to make sure that, I think a little bit part of it is because he knew that the cheating ex kept calling me at some point, and which he did, because he just kept, trying to rekindle, and all that wasn't happening. But it started happening when the cheater would call my phone, and he just like, well, why is he calling? Yeah. And I'm just like, you need to tell him you with me, and you need to tell him, you don't tell him, I tell him. And so then here I'm like, it's no need for that, because you the one all worked up. I don't even answer the phone until I started to seem like I felt like this is not a good position for me to be in. So yeah, the cheating ex knew that he was aggressive too, as well as Diane. So, and he just like, and even the cheating ex is like, hey, if you need to get out, and he was already moved on with whom he was with, but he still at this point wanted to say, hey, I know I did you wrong type stuff. But I still wasn't going to go back there with him, because I had heard that song and dance for a long time, and I stayed. And when I said, enough is enough with that, I was done. I moved, and I ain't got in with this them nut. Here I did. So, prime example. I'm sitting at his house, okay, and then he gets very aggressive with his tone, which scared me. So I called my sister, okay. And when I say this girl, she don't care who you are, girl, guy or girl, she will fight you, because that's just how Diane was. She will fight you. She don't come to talk, she come to fight. That's just how she was. And so he had got real loud with me over, oh, I know what it was. I was trying to study, and he was home, and I was trying to study, and because I wouldn't sit in the house, sit on the couch beside him and watch a movie, he got in his feelings, which I thought was really weird. I'm sitting here in the house with you, but yet and still, because I'm not closing up my school book and sit on the sofa with you, you gets mad and start yelling and screaming at me. And then he got up and punched the wall, and I'm like, okay, this ain't normal. Aggressiveness, this not normal. With controlling, because he got upset, literally, and this is how crazy this is, literally, because I would not stop studying, because again, I'm in school for medical billing and coding, okay, I'm in school. He gets upset because I would not shut my book when I had homework to do or test, can't remember what it was, but I know it was school. So I'm sitting, he gets mad, so I was like, okay. When I saw him hit the wall, it freaked me out, so I get on the couch and start watching TV with him. And then he flips like nothing never happened. He wants to cuddle up. He wants to do this. He wants to do that. And I'm just looking at this dude like, something ain't right with you in my mind. So I text my sister. As I had my phone, I text Diane and I was telling her what he had just did. Little did I know, Captain Saver sister knocks on the door like she always do. She knocks on the door and she just like, what's up? You know, she's like, you're not going to be scaring my sister, da da da. So Diane was just not having it. She started taking all of my belongings out of this dude's house. Okay. She started grabbing my clothes. She's taking them out. She's taking them out. She's taking them out. The meantime that she's doing all this, he calls his sister. Because at this point, I had met his sister on the phone, I believe. Yeah, I think I met his sister on the phone. And so he's crying to her, literally, she about to leave me. She about to do this. She about to leave me. And I don't want her to leave. Her sister here taking all of her stuff and I don't want her to leave. And and he keeps telling me to come to the phone because his sister is on the phone. And so I finally gave in and went over and got the phone. Yep, I should have left for good then, but I didn't. I let manipulation. So I'm sitting here listening to his sisters, like he really does care for you, da 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 da, and he just gets, you know, he gets high strong, and I tell him about his, you know, high strong tone and this and this and that, and he's not gonna hurt you. I can assure you that's not my brother. Blah 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 blah. I'm like, okay, whatever. So I end up not going, okay, with my sister, even though she done took all my stuff. And I didn't stop her from taking my clothes. Because in my mind, I was like, it'd be easier for me to leave. Okay, it would be real easier for me to leave if I just let her take all my stuff. And he just like, oh, you gonna let her just keep putting your stuff in the car? You gonna let her put it in the car? And I said, she's just mad. I said, I'll get it later. I said, she's upset right now because, you know, she sees how aggressive and how you scared me with your tone. So she's just really not feeling it. So I let Diane take all my clothes. Everything. Okay. Everything. Because in my mind, I'm like, okay, this could potentially happen again. But the manipulation, the smooth talking, and then he confessing his love for me with his sister. So I thought it was love. Okay. And I'm saying, all right. So he really just came. He done called his sister up crying and boohooing and da-da-da. Cause yeah, he literally was in tears. Literally was. So I end up staying. I know what you're going to say. Check, Cat, you should have left. Yeah, I should have. Looking back on it, yes, I should have. I should have left. So that was the first time that he made me feel uncomfortable. Aggressiveness. Tone. Aggressive tone is what I say sign number 2 should have been. Aggressive tone. So I end up staying. Yep, don't shoot me in the comment section. I said be respectful, okay? I'm trying to say, I'm telling this story and I'm cracking jokes in the middle of it, but at the same time, this is very serious too. I should have left. I honestly should have. All right. So I didn't. And so he just like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. Da 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 da. I just want my girl with me and blah 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 blah. So I stayed. All right. So that was one incident. Another incident was he gets upset with me because of what I had on. Now, mind you, I am not a heel girl. Never have been, probably never will be. You know, I don't, as stilettos, because I don't see how my sister, because she would rock stilettos all the time. And she was good at it. She line dancing them bad boys, whatever the case may be. And I know stilettos back then, or still is to this day, it is attractive to guys. I understand that. Dresses, stilettos, all that stuff. But I'm a country girl. I was not a stiletto type person. Even though the little heels that I wore, they was comfortable enough for my feet. But since I didn't want to wear stilettos, it was a problem. Okay. And here you go. You're trying to tell me how to dress. Okay. So when you met me, I didn't have on no stilettos. Hello. So something you liked, you wanted me to be your girl, and I didn't have on stilettos. Okay. And I did. So then we gets into it about that. So I don't know if I really even told Diane that part of it, but he tore up my homework because I had to go to school that day. And he tore up my homework. Okay. And now I'm mad because now I got to go to school and I don't have my work done to turn in. And I'm at school right now after I done went to school, and I'm sitting here bawling, and everybody's like, what's the matter? And then my teacher pulls me, instructor, she pulls me to the side. She said, what's going on with you? She said, because she said, your grades are slipping. You're not in school. You're not at school, because at some point in time, don't go to school. Stay here with me. If you love me, you'll be here with me. You won't go to school. Stay with me. Da 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 da. Controlling. And what did I do? I start missing days of school. Okay, because he thought that the ex would come to the school, because there's another thing we got into it about. He would think the ex would come to the school and see me, which he was not. Okay, well, he did one time, unannounced, and I never told him that he showed up, but yeah, he did. She did show up one night, and I was just like, I was thrown off, but that was his way of saying, you know, I'm sorry, let's get back together, blah, 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 that whole thing. So he would always ask me if I'm out, if old boy would pop up and see me. And I kept saying no, because at this time I know that he's jealous, for one. And then two, this could go left because he thinks that. So I never really told him. And I don't think he really figured it out that he did show up, or maybe he did, because he did ask me that one day. And I kept saying no. But my teacher was like, what is wrong with you? She said, you used to be so bubbly in class, because right now I done start to get quiet. I'm not talking. I came to school, didn't have my homework. I have to wait till he picked me up, which he was always late, because he's in my car. I could never get my car away from this guy. I never could. All right. So fast forward, I telling my teacher everything's fine, but it really wasn't, because she could see through me, because I was always in tears and I was always sitting by myself, wasn't with my classmates, yada, yada. The signs was there for everybody to see that I was in trouble. All right. So that incident happened, and then things kind of died down a little bit, and we end up going to meet his family in another part of Indiana. So my sister went with me. All right. So we go, and this point in time, we meet his sister in person. She gets to meet me. She gets to meet Diane, because Diane went with me. Okay. So everything was cool. He was cool around his family. He was like, oh, this is my girl, da 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 da. And then he's portraying me to his sister. He goes, because I had my school books and stuff with me. And at this time, things had died down a little bit. So I told him, you know, this is school, and this is what I'm going to school. And I had to flip the script and say, hey, you know, this is how, you know, I can get a decent job, and, you know, we can, you know, have a good life together with better finances and all these things. So he kind of laid off of me when it came to school, because he thought it was going to be beneficial to him. Okay. Now this time I done started how to manipulate you like you trying to manipulate me. All right. So fast forward to that, we spent some time with we spent some, I don't know if it's a weekend. I think it was like a weekend or whatever. And we stayed there with his sister. You know, he bought food, she cooked, you know, it was just a family gathering, meet my girlfriend type stuff. So he said, hey, he was like, hey, go get your books. Let my sister see your grades and da da da. Because I was a straight A student. I always have been, no matter what school I went to. I've always excelled in my studies. Not to brag, but I just studied hard. All right. So he's showing her all my stuff, and she's like, oh, wow, your grades are phenomenal, da 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 da. So she is liking me at this point. She should have been in the first place. So he's like, I see why my brother's attached to you, da da da. You know, you're more acceptable than the others that he's brought to us. Others? Like, okay, so how many others has there been? Because I remember me and my sister was talking about it. So sign number 3, if you're if you trying to get to know somebody, go hang around their family, because you can pick up on little nuggets that should turn your light switch on, like hello. Because looking back on it, I should have picked up on that when she said, others. But I'm just like, okay, he really liked me, yada, 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 all this type of stuff. So, whatever. So, I should have known. I should have fled the scene then, but I didn't. All right. So, we spent some time in that part of Indiana, and then we went back to Indianapolis, where I lived at the time. I think his family was in Gary. So we went Gary, Indiana. So then we went back to Indianapolis. Okay. So I see my video getting long again. So we got back, and the same routine picked back up. Him going to the pub, selling all these little burnt movies or CD movies or whatever it is, these movies. And so the same thing. He's got to have me underneath him. So everything started all back over again, what I didn't like. All right. So I got so fed up of being at all these different places, being posted up with him. So my sister started joining me to keep me company. So he would be all nice and sweet. And, this is my girl, this is her sister, and my girl in school. And I hear this music playing, everybody dancing, shooting pool, doing everything else. And I'm sitting up there, this is medical stuff. You don't need all of this surroundings. And so once I would get home from hanging out with him, I'm staying up late where it's quiet to try to get my schoolwork done, because I couldn't get it done hanging around him, which I think was unfair, because I could have just been at home, right? Because you're supposed to be just selling movies. Controlling. He would never, hardly ever let me be at home. So I remember one time that we were there. I'm not a drinker at all. So he was trying to give me, I don't know if it was a margarita, Long Island iced tea, whatever it was, something he wanted me to have a drink that night. And, my sister had a drink that night. So I wasn't, am I right? I think I had that one little drink, and it just took me there. Because I'm not a drinker. My body cannot handle alcohol. It truly cannot. I'm a wuss when it comes to alcohol. All right. So I did drink this drink. Like I said, I don't know if it was a margarita or it was a Long Island iced tea or whatever it was. All I know, my sister had taken me home. She brought me, she told him I need to take her home. So she took me home, and I do remember falling asleep. To sleep that off, and I woke up, my sister was still there. So she did not want to leave me until I was coherent enough to know my surroundings, what's going on. Like I say, ride or die, she was there. She really was. So she was there with me, and she watched TV, whatever it was she did, so that I can sleep that drink off. It's my sister's tolerance for alcohol was better than mine, right? So I was at home, and so finally I was woke when he got there, because he used to come in 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. So that night ended pretty much okay. And then I'm going to keep going till it get to the 30 minutes, and bear with me, guys. Now, here we go to him getting very, very more aggressive. Now, there's one thing about domestic violence. It doesn't always have to be physical all the time. It can be mental as well. So verbal abuse is domestic violence. It is. Okay. Mental abuse is domestic violence, because they're violating your space, they're violating your body, they're violating your state of mind. Okay. So this guy controlled me with his controlling, he violated me with his aggressive tone. He violated me with throwing things. And then he started threatening my life. Okay. Then here come if you leave, you're going to end up dead. Because all these things were him talking crazy to me, and it was scaring me, so I wanted to get out. Here we comes with the I'm going to kill you type stuff. Okay. He told me that on more than one occasion. So now I'm starting to feel like I'm trapped dealing with this guy. I'm trapped. So he's like, if you leave me, I'm going to kill you. If you do this, I'm going to kill you. If you talk to any other guy, I'm going to kill you. If you even tell anybody about our business, I'm going to kill you. So I got all these I'm going to kill yous all the time. Okay. At this point, I'm going to kill you. And I had no reason to not believe him because of the aggressiveness he did, the throwing of these things, and then the manipulation. Because at first, before he started hollering, I'm going to kill you. If you leave me, I'm going to kill myself. It was that type of stuff. I'm going to kill myself. So he controlled me in that aspect. Okay. So when he would say, I'm going to kill you, it's not what he said, it's how he said it. Because he will stand up over me and says, I'm going to kill you if you leave. Because he was just yelling at me for no apparent reason. And I'm going to tell you this, TMI, but if you know anybody that got heart problems, low kidney functions, and all those different things, it affect your performance. It's a clean way to say it. For some reason, that became my problem. Okay. Because he could not perform, it was my problem. If you don't do this right, you're going to make me kill your ASS. And I'm like, how does this become my problem? Because you can't function. How is this my problem? You can't. You guys know what I'm trying to say. If you can't perform because you can't get in the position to form, I'm just trying to say this as clean as I can possibly can. TMI, whatever, because it could be kids watching, and I hope they're not. But that became my problem until he was hospitalized one time, and then the doctor said it out loud in front of all of us, and I'm looking at him like, so all along, it wasn't me, it was you. Hello. But we'll get to that part when he went to the hospital. Okay. So now he had got to be so aggressive. He had got to be so controlling. He's got to see start every time you turn around, he's throwing something, or he's slamming doors, or he's getting up in my face and he's pushing me against the wall. And if you don't do what I say, I'm gonna kill you. All this time, I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill you. This man told me I'm gonna kill you so many times that I couldn't even think of how many times he said it. Okay, so now I'm starting to say, okay, he's literally he could literally kill me, because he would not stop saying it, and he would not stop saying, you better Google Gary, Indiana guys, because we killers. He used to say that to me all the time, and I don't bit more believe that they are, but he would say that, and later I found out that the Gary, Indiana guys does have that reputation as this men that you don't want to mess with. And I'm not talking about women, I'm just saying men, period. They had that reputation, and he was from Gary. So that scared me after a while. So I was like, okay, he literally probably will do what he say he's going to do. So I always tried to keep this dude calm as much as I possibly could. All right. And then one day he collapsed on the floor. So he was the type of guy that never did want to go to the doctor, even though we knew he had all this stuff, because he had insulin and all those different things in the house. So he collapsed, and I called my sister. I said, pimp down. Pimp down. And the reason why I said pimp down is a little backstory. When we were in Gary, he paraded me and my sister as if, he got two women. One on one and one on the other, and me and her, we were just like, whatever floats his boat. If he want to feel like he King Tut, let him feel that way. Okay, so we going in the mall, and little backstory, this is why I call him pimp. He had had her on one side and had me on the other side, and even though she wasn't in a relationship with him, it just appeared that way, that he was the man. Okay, because that's how he paraded us in Gary, Indiana, as if we were his women. And me and her, we would just sit there and just look at, we look at each other and sniggle. But we know this man, he wasn't pimping us, and he wasn't. And he would just, God was like, oh, you got two women. He said, how did it make that happen? He's like, oh, I got them in Indiana. I got two of them. And me and her look at each other and just like, whatever. But at the same time, he was buying us what we wanted to in the mall too. Hello. So it's like, can you say payment for pain and suffering? Yeah, but I'm going to end this one right here. And just remember to the end, till we get to the part till he went to the hospital for the first time. And I think I may be able to chop this up in the next one. and then or maybe 2 more after this one, because you got to know about how all the health ties into it, and I explain that one in the next video, which also kept me there. Okay, all right, but at the whole time, at this time, I'm already afraid and scared, because I stayed scared all the time. And then me and my sister had a code word, and I'm going to tell you how we tied that in as well. So thank you for tuning in to the second part of this story. I greatly appreciate you listening to it. All right. Because these are true, actual facts of how this relationship was with this guy. All right. And I'm still going to hit my closing spiel. Love God, love yourself, and love others. Stay ready, strong. Get ready. This is Chad with Kate. And I'm out because I don't have anything else to say. But I will say this. If you are in a domestic violence situation, there is a 1-800 number that you can call to get help. Get out before it's too late. Okay. I was able to get out before it was too late. All right. And yes, I got out before he died, but not long after. All right. So, but I can tell you, it gets really crazy. All right. Because he literally did try to kill me one time, but he didn't succeed. All right. He did try. And we'll get into all of that as well, you know. And when I get to the part how he really tried to kill me, it probably is going to get really, I'm probably not going to be too jokey when it gets to that part. And I will see you guys in the next one. This is Chad K, and stay safe, guys. Bye.